Good morning and welcome back to Margin. This morning we're going to talk about my thoughts on the van life movement. This is part one of a two-part series, so let's jump right into it. So over the last 18 months, we've seen an acceleration of a number of different trends, and a lot of those have to do with people trying to figure out creative ways to get out of their spaces. They've been kind of quarantined of sorts in their spaces, and so they've tried to figure out how to get out and explore in a creative and safe way. And so we've seen people try out renting Airbnbs to get a staycation going. They've rented vehicles to go out and explore trails. They have purchased bikes in order to take on mountain biking, amongst a number of different things. But in a lot of cases, people have stayed close to home or relatively close to home and tried to figure out ways to explore in the place that they currently live or relocate so that they could explore in their new location. So as people have more and more valued their space, especially being that many are working from home and both experiencing home life and work life from the same location, it has become more and more important that people have their own space, have their own homes. And so that's why we've seen great shortages when it comes to homes available for sale because people aren't willing to put them up on the market. And then also this climate where there's a supply and demand issue in the sense that there's far less supply than there is demand. So it's causing prices to continuously increase. And so we've experienced this firsthand, and it has basically created an affordability crisis for many Americans, as we've seen people want to have their own space, but not necessarily be able to due to how competitive the landscape is. So as people have been more and more concerned about having perks related to quality of life and the ability for them to get out and actually experience and explore different areas that they haven't been before, there is an increasing demand for something called the van life. So as people have been looking for lower cost housing, more flexibility to be able to get out and explore, meanwhile, they have a little bit more flexibility in their work situations because many people move to being remote workers. And so people have been looking more and more at options related to allowing them to get out and experience the best quality of life that they can during the challenges we've faced over the last 18 months. And so there's a movement called the van life. So the van life is a movement of people who are basically going out and purchasing large, what you would originally call 15 packs vans, larger vans, maybe old Volkswagens, as well as Sprinter vans and so on and so forth, in order to retrofit those to be able to live out of. And whether that is seasonal or that is continuous, people are basically buying up these vehicles, which are considered a Class B motorhome, and they are basically utilizing these vans to outfit them for their basic needs to be able to travel with. So these non-commercial RVs, so they're not a Winnebago, they're not something you would traditionally see as a motorhome that's a Cruise America or something of that kind. People are basically buying these to outfit them and utilize custom shops to do so. So these vans typically have a platform bed in them. They have the basic necessities, so like a platform bed. They typically have a self-composting toilet. They may have running water with minor plumbing. And typically have some power source outside of the powertrain in order to run LED lighting and other components. So they typically have a solar system installed in the roof of that van. And so this movement has very much so moved in the direction of buying up these vehicles in order to lower their cost and footprint, and be able to have more freedom, to be able to take these vehicles cross country or up coast and be able to camp of sorts, but more in a bougie, style of being able to live out of these vehicles and experience life in a very different manner. So although this concept has been around for decades, Foster Huntington, about 10 years ago now, started posting his life, his adventures on Instagram with a hashtag van life. And this basically started that movement, started that social media based grassroots movement in order to inspire people to explore other options than being stuck in an office or stuck in a fixed place, but enabling them to cut their costs and be able to hit the road. Now, this has encouraged people to actually hit the American road again and get out there and cruise and see America in a different fashion. And so you typically see the hashtags related to van life in these places that typical large motorhomes most likely won't be able to get to. And so you'll see people up and down coasts in various locations, in backwoods, parts of various mountain ranges. And so typically what you'll find is that people just want to be able to explore, but they want to be able to explore on their own terms and be able to spend the amount of time necessary in order to explore, what they want to see. And so oftentimes you're limited based on your vehicle, based on the capability of that vehicle, and you can't necessarily get to some of those locations you want to without hiking back and camping. And so typically with this movement, people are not camping, but they are retrofitting these vans in order for them to have some kind of capability to get off the beaten path and be able to meet up with and build community with other people who are doing the same thing as them. So as the van life movement has continued to expand and participants have joined forces in building that community, there's been more and more resources around supporting this environment, supporting this movement. If this information is helpful to you, please do like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're reminded to come back on a daily basis and improve in managing your personal finances. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your day, and we'll see you back tomorrow.